Alrighty, it is that time again. Yes, again already. It is how to speed paint a Tyranid miniature printed on the Creality K2 Plus Part 2. Yes, we're going to take a little swig to get the pump primed, so to speak. And we're going to jump into this. In the prior live stream, what I ended up doing is printing out, like I said, a Tyranid that we got off of, what was it, Cults 3D? Yeah, I think it was Cults 3D. And free model, just look up Tyranid on Cults or similar page like Thangs or Thingiverse or Printables or Maker World or Creality Cloud, whatever it is, you'll probably find some bugs, space bugs to print. So yeah. We did that. We got the majority of it done, and as I was looking over it, there were some other things that didn't want to do in the last video, and I had some errands to run. So we're back with that, but I also made a few adjustments. So we're going to jump and we're going to take a look and see what we can end up doing. So with that being said, we're just going to go ahead and jump right over to our paint station. As you can see right there, there's our Tyranid. He's waiting patiently, and we're going to try to finish him up. So we'll see what happens. So let's jump on over there, and we'll make sure we take our drink. 64 ounces of electrolyte goodness. And we will, let's see if we can get on to the current one. So I got my little tablet there that will take a look, and we should be able to see any comments if somebody has comments. Cleaned everything. Yes, cleaned everything. Well, for the most part. Still get some little things going on. So a little bit of kind of what we're looking at here. Here is our Tyranid. And there, if you can give a like and subscribe, that would really help. And so we're using Army Painter Speed Paints, and so far it came out pretty good. Now we do have some white on the front there, and those were in Fire Drake, like a brown color, but I decided against that. I wanted to go back with a bone color, so we did that stuff in white, and then we'll color over that with the bone color. So we can kind of get in some of the bone color that we have, and so it'll match, you know, this big bone plate here, that'll be the color, and we have the bone plates on kind of like the thighs and the lower legs. So that way it just kind of makes a little bit more sense. And then we're going to go through, and I think he's got some claws on here, so I think we'll do those in black. And then we still have his mouth that we can do. So we'll probably go in there, probably not with speed paints. We'll probably use some skeleton bone to do the teeth. And then we'll do like, ooh, this would be a good one. The Slaughter Red for his tongue that is sticking out. That is an excellent red to use. So yeah, we'll do a little bit of touch-up work. And yeah, so let's start off with our bony matter. So let's move some of the other things that need to be painted. There's a never-ending pile. It's not never-ending, but it's a decent pile. So the pile of shame, we're trying to reduce that. And this ended up just being a little. This was actually a test piece, because I had to redo the calibration and all of the stuff for my machine because it was acting a little squirrely, the Creality K2 Plus. And with that, redid the input shaping and the auto bed leveling, all of that good stuff. And I decided, well, I could print a benchy, but those aren't fun. So we ended up doing one of these, and this is a lot more fun than a benchy. So we decided to just go ahead and rock this guy out, and we'll make sure that he's nice and doused with the wash that we're using. And that's about the same, it's about the same color. When it dries, it'll look pretty sharp. But I wanted that to match the other pieces that we had on there. So, and then on this piece here, we can get some bone on there. This is my very first Tyranid. So it is not lore accurate for those of you that are like Warhammer, die-hard Warhammer people. So there's that. But we're just gonna kind of put some of this on there and get him up and running. So this will just be the quick fix type of stuff. And this wash, Bony Matter, comes out pretty good. It's almost like a wash, basically. So, and any other spots that we need to do, I don't know. There's a few spots in there where it was kind of like I kind of went over the lines, and then there's still some red stuff that I want to take a look at. But we might end up like his hands and stuff like that. That's a lot of red, and there's a little bit of black that I want to put in there. But I think with that, it's turning out pretty good. So Bony Matter is good to go. So go ahead and throw that back. I could probably use a little bit of water. Let's see. Other things that I wanted to do. We need to go back to the poppy red. That's what we ended up doing the most of his body in this poppy red. We'll mix that up in our little vortex mixer. I'll just get a few little details on there. On the other than that, yeah, just tiny details. And let's see if there's any other little white spots that we need to hit. There's one. Just little tiny places that I missed. There's one there. Let me cover that up. There's a little one there. Now there is a little bit of a place where I went over in black, but it should be red. Now we'll see if we can't just get a little bit of that to, I don't know. That's a bit much. That should be okay. Oh, there's a tiny little white. We can go back with some, oh, there's a little spot. And I was thinking about doing some orange on this as well, to maybe kind of highlight a little bit since we have such a dramatic color change. This is the Fire Drake, which is, yeah, the Fire Drake color, which is a really good color, but I want to try to bring some orange into probably his skin maybe a little bit to maybe kind of do a highlight, and hopefully that'll work out. Oh, there's a, just a big spot under there. But other than that, it looks good. I like it. Came out great. Just kind of. You know what? I'll end up doing. I'll do some orange on that instead. You know what? We've got the water. Let's just go ahead and use this. So this is my cheesy little water brush thing that I got for, I don't know, I think it was like a few thousand won here in Korea. So just put the seal on it. It's not that good. Swedish Forge is back. Good. And I think we've got that going. So I think we're good on the red. So we can put that away. Slaughter red we might need. We need to do a little bit of touch up on some black. A couple dots. So let's go ahead and get those. Like right at that tip. And right there. There's some other black. Oh, there's the one. Wanted to get this little piece right here. Got that, and oh yeah, we're going to do some claws on him. So we'll get some of this black and we will, because that black is a pretty good color. I like that. Matter of fact, let's just do the inside of his hand in black. I think that'll be good. And then we can, since it looks like it's got a black little claws or talons, I think that'll break up some of the colors that we got with the red. And we'll just kind of, that'll make that look pretty cool, I think. So something just a little bit different. Get a little bit more. How was the day today? It's pretty good. Friday, and so I didn't go to the gym today. I'm going to take one more day off and go back Monday. But we ended up just kind of piddling around. Of course, we did this a little bit. And then we got a phone call from our daughter. And for those of you who don't know, she is a doctor in the military and stationed here in Korea where we're at. And she called and she says, "I'm sick." It was like, oh no. So we went to the grocery store and got her a bunch of stuff and delivered it. So yeah, did a little relief package for her. And so that she'll be set. And hopefully she can get over this little sick thing that she's got going on. Okay, so yeah, the claws look better with the black on them. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. Now the red on his arms and stuff and his tail, it's really, really saturated on the video, but it's more red in real life. And I think we're good to go on that. So I like that. So hopefully she'll get better. We'll see how that turns out. Oh, missed underneath there. There. We'll just cut. That's one thing with the white zenithal, you can definitely tell the areas that you missed because they're like blatantly white. So it makes it easy to tell. But I think this is looking pretty good as far as black is concerned. Just do a little. The other thing that we could end up doing is just kind of doing some dots and in some of these recesses to just give a little bit of more definition. And just a little tiny stippling we'll end up doing here. Maybe we can get a little bit of detail. We'll just kind of do that same right there. We'll just do a little bit of black line on there. Just a tad bit of water. And I think what we'll end up doing is we'll even go through and we will do a little bit of a wash, do a dark wash to try to bring out some of these recesses that we have. I think that is going to turn out good. So the bone that we have, the color there is turning out pretty good. And not bad, not bad. And I also painted some white in these things here, but I'm not sure what colors. Thinking about doing that white or maybe even an orange. We'll see how that goes. Evening, Brett. All righty, evening from Australia. Cool. Like the color of the bone. Yeah, the bone turned out really good. And especially when we added some little different colors to it. Came out pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with the results, and I think we can just kind of, oh, that's what I used. I used Fire Drake to do some little striations. So I'll need to put a tiny little bit on that. Tiny little lines on, and we'll just kind of do the peaks of that, because kind of like what I did on the other pieces. And I also happen to have Q-tip, and what we can end up doing, we just kind of blot that in there so it's not so abrupt. And just kind of just want a little bit of color. I don't want too much. So that way it's kind of blends in just a hair. think we're good. I think I'll just kind of put in a couple of spots and stuff like that on that bottom chest piece, or that crotch piece, whatever it is. It's still a little bit light, so let's just tag that in a little bit. Another thing that's cool is I ended up getting the 0.2 and 0.25 nozzles for the K2 Plus on the Micro Swiss hot end, so we'll be able to print out some smaller miniatures, and we'll try that out and see what kind of details we get there. Let's see, for the teeth, it's very, very small, and I think what we'll end up doing is we'll use some skeleton bone from a regular Army painter set. And so we get a little bit of different colors on there besides white, and I did want to do the bone on the teeth, so this is going to be like a happy in-between, hopefully. We'll just need a little dab of this. Make sure that it's not stuck. We'll just need a tiny little bit, tiniest bit. Brett says, have an H2S for a couple of months, looking and getting into painting some of the prints. Love the detail. Well, thank you. Congrats on the H2S. That, I've seen those are some pretty good machines. I was thinking about that, and then, but then I saw that they have the bamboo, not the bamboo, but the Prusa Core 1L, and I think that is going to be my next printer. But Bamboo has got some great machines. They are workhorses. Let me get some geek glasses on here so I can keep track of what I'm doing. Should use a smaller brush, but I think I can suffer through with this. And we will get these little teeth going. Probably even that tongue. That tongue is going to be interesting. So we're just going to fill his mouth up. And then we'll go back in there with the that blood color slaughter. I think that'll really set this thing off. So yeah, if you can see that, let's see if we can. Apologize for the, we don't have a lot of autofocus on this camera, but I'm getting a better camera. I just ordered it, and so it should be in, it's going to be a little while. but because I am ordering it from Korea or from Amazon, it has to get delivered to Korea, so it's going to be at least, what was it going to be? That's kind of interesting. Let me see. Amazon and orders. Come on. January 28th is when it's supposed to come in. So yeah, this is going to be the no, it's the YOLO Live S3. So that's the one I'm getting, is the YOLO Live S3, and that's got a real good automatic focus. So definitely look forward to that. Dun. Swedish Forge asks Brett, what would you like to print? And Brett says pretty much anything. Some of the miniatures do look good on Maker World, so maybe doing some of those. The gnomes, etc. Corwinell looking at 3K plus for me. Ouch, 3K? It's like $1,800 or $1,900 for me here in Korea. So I'll have to pay, a little bit. Wow, that 3K plus. Ouch. They ding you guys on that, don't they? Let's go ahead and do Slaughter Red for the tongue on here. That's crazy. And I'm assuming a lot of that is VAT tax and import fees and stuff like that. That's rough. I know we start getting import tax fees of anything, especially on Amazon. If it's $150 or more, then I'll get hit with that stuff. So yeah, I feel your pain, bro. That is just not fun at all. We want a small brush. That is super tiny brush. I think we could do this one. And I'll go ahead and do now. The red on this is kind of shiny. And it's called Slaughter Red. So it'll definitely stand out. That's for sure. Just try to get a little bit in the mouth. So I get a little bit of a, I don't know if y'all can see that, but I think we're good. Just a little dab will do ya. Slaughter Red. It is the bomb. Yep. The new Bamboo H2C with the AMS Ultimate Combo is like $4,500 for me. Oh, ouch. $4,500. Man. I gotta tell my wife that. So that way she won't feel as bad when that's crazy. That is some crazy pricing. Okay, let's see. What are we going to end up doing now? We get rid of that red. And I want to do something on these colors, these here. And I was thinking about doing some of this orange. We got Nuclear Sunrise, and then we've got Bright Red. The Nuclear Sunrise, that's like a vivid orange. This is like a red orange. Let's try this Nuclear, just because it sounds cool. And then maybe we could do some highlights along the back of the tail with this a little bit. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. It might be just good enough with what we got now. But this is... that is a crazy color. I don't know if this will be a good thing or a bad thing, but it will be a thing. This, we don't need that. Actually, let's go back to this one. Load up our brush, and let's see what this looks like. Oh wow, that is going to be interesting. That is, that'll be kind of neat, I guess. Oh, that'll give a little pop to that, won't it? Yeah. Told you that sunrise is quite the deal. Yeah, I ended up, like I said, I printed this out on the Creality K2 Plus, and we did it at 0.16 layer height with the 0.4 nozzle, and took a few hours, but came out pretty nice. I liked it. Oh yeah, that's gonna look good. I like that. That is nice. So now I'm wondering if I should blot some of this on his tail or something like that. I'm not sure about that. Let's see. Because I don't know, that's... that is going to be the question, because I was thinking about doing it kind of like right on the ridge, and then just kind of blot it on, and then maybe kind of blend it in, blot it, so it doesn't look so strikingly, you know, boom, so aggressive, but I still want to do it a little bit. So we'll just give it a shot. If it doesn't work, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a subtle, that'll be a subtle color change. So So we'll just put a little bit on there. We'll see how that works. So that way it gets a little bit of a different sheen on there. And we could try to get something just a little bit different, you know what I mean? Just so we got a different little color thing going on. Just a little bit of a hue, a little bit of a and see how that goes. It's because we do have a lot of red. I think just kind of blotching this in a little bit will kind of give us a little bit of it's a very slight color change. Oh yeah, I think that'll work. Just get it like right on the, just on the edge. And just a little bit of a different, so it's not saturated. And so we get kind of a, yeah, I think that'll work. Just give a little bit of a, especially on that back there, we get some of that orange, so it kind of blends in with these pieces here. Maybe a tad bit more. And then the other thing we're going to end up doing is we're going to see if we can do some type of something with the base, maybe like a lava base type of thing. And yeah, there we go. Just a few little splotches on there to make it a little bit different. Just a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Yeah, kind of get that little bit of orange in there. that'll be good. See a little, I don't know if you can see it on camera or not. Let's see, Brett says, surprising you're only 2 hours behind the time zone. It's the 16th, 7:34 p.m. here. It's 5:35 here on the 16th. So yeah, oh wow. We're closer than we imagined. Swedish says, Steve, you can always pick materials from nature and you can use that on the base. I do that, yeah. And that, see, a brown would be good. I mean, you could always do brown, but it's kind of like a textured thing. We could easily do brown, but I think that brown would be too much in this, and that's why I'm thinking we could do like a lava base. We could paint this because it's white, so we could do some reds, we could do some yellow, like high-vis yellow, red, orange, and just kind of do different designs. And then we could go back, and once that's dried, we could use this crackle, put that on top of it. This ends up cracking, but it's kind of a gray color. Matter of fact, I do have, wash that out. We did it on a Warhammer-esque type of model that we did, where the crackle exploded. And if you can see the base there, so you paint that on there and it ends up crackling. So we got some big cracks on some of that stuff. So I'm thinking we'll paint the base, like I said, on that base. We could end up doing something like volcanic-ish. And then maybe we can mix, oh no, we dropped some, we need to fix that. I really need to seal this up, because apparently that crackle comes off. So, let's get a little bit of uber glue. I'll just do a quick little dab. Seriously. And then I need to varnish this thing. So I need to seal this with some varnish. So it's good to know that this, yeah, that crackle has some pieces that are like coming off of there. So we definitely need to do some varnish on this stuff. So that's good to know. A lot of times I'll paint the stuff, I put off varnishing it because I let it dry and then I move on to something else. But yeah, I'll definitely have to varnish that, especially with that crackle. But the crackle is a little gray, and I want it to be black. So I think what we'll try to do is, when we do get to the crackle stage, I'll see if I can mix some black in there. Mix that up and have some black. Hopefully that'll crackle. But I think right with this, what we'll end up doing is, I got a little bit of a white spot there. We can just cover that up with some. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but where we put that nuclear color, what was that? Nuclear sunrise. Oh, that was bright red. What was it? Nuclear something? Nuclear sunrise. you can see a little bit of the orange tinge on the top of the tail. It's very, very subtle. In some of the other places where we put it, it looks, you can see it, but it's really minute. But it looks good though. Just put a little bit of that stuff on here. Speckle that in there. Get our money's worth. Yeah, this has turned out pretty good. Brett says, I just ordered some Green Stuff World airbrush pot from eBay. Was a bit more, but seems quality. Yeah, for an airbrush, my first airbrush was the cheapest one you could get off of Amazon. That was not a good idea. And then I ended up spending money and getting a Harder and Steenbeck Ultra 2024. And that is a great brush, airbrush. It was pricey and it's shipped from Germany, but it is really, really good. I really like it. I'm not a professional airbrush type person, but it works a lot better than that cheap piece of crap I got off of eBay or Amazon, which is, I did honestly get the cheapest one. It's like a Gaher or something like that. Okay, we need to do some bright ass colors. So this maize yellow will look pretty good, and then we'll kind of try to just splosh some different colors on here. And so we'll need a bigger brush. That's smaller. That's bigger, and it's kind of want to make sure I get this all, because I haven't used this one in a long time. Maize yellow. That's some bright, bright yellow. So again, the whole idea behind this is to kind of have like a volcanic, you know what I'm talking about, the thing. And we'll just kind of put this in here and just kind of leave us some room. We're going to need more. That's for sure. We really want that to look bright, and hopefully the idea is that we'll do the red and some orange, and with that it'll really pop. And especially underneath. And so we'll just kind of put this on there. I won't be able to finish up the crackle on this video because I got to let this dry and make sure it's good and dry. And I might even just varnish it just to set those colors in there so that they don't get muddled up or reactivated when we put that crackle on there. So I'm thinking about that. Brett says, yeah, that H&S Evolution 2024, about $400 AU. Oh, and you can print out a brush stand. That's true. I actually have a brush stand that I made off of, that I made with Tinkercad that you can get for free on Creality Cloud. When I get done with this, I'll show you that. Or I'm sure there's other ones out there as well, but take a look at it. If you like it, use it. If not, no big deal. So yeah, and then I think so with that, and then we'll do some reds, and we'll do orange. And that should be good. Red, Slaughter Red, that's going to be too much. Carmine Dragon, that could be good. We also want to do some, I don't know, the Nuclear Sunrise could be good too. This is bright red, but it seems like it's an orangish color. Let's try some bright red and see how that turns out. Man, 400 Australian dollars. That H&S Evolution, that's a nice one though. A lot of people I've seen online that they love that. Alrighty, let's see what we can do. That's kind of a, interesting. Let's try it. Just do a little bit first. And just kind of it's almost like that Nuclear Sunrise almost, doesn't it? That is a different color indeed. But we'll throw in some other reds and we'll see how that goes. You know, worst case scenario, we just throw on a bunch of different colors. And heck, might not even work with the crackle. We'll see what happens. We want to get that nice and dark. I'll tell you one thing with that that H&S airbrush. I also get some spare parts if you're going to get it. You might as well buy once, cry once, and then you'll be set. Because I don't know, it sounds kind of like me. You know, if I have to get replacement parts, it's going to take a while to get. And so yeah, just it hurts to spend that much money. But yeah. I'll just do that one close there. It's an interesting, it's not like a red. It's kind of hard to say what kind of red that is. It's kind of an odd, some orange. Nuclear sunrise, I mean, that came out with that color there, so I think that'll work on there as well. Let's do it. Let's just do it. And let's see what happens. Boy, that's real close to that red we did. I think we can just kind of blot that in, and maybe we can just kind of you could just kind of stipple that in there a little bit. It's a little bit of a different color, but not drastic, but get some of that little stippling action in there. Just kind of bleed that into I don't know, we'll see how this goes. It'll be interesting. There's not much difference. Yeah, it's a little bit, but it's pretty rough. It's hard to see the difference. But even then, I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. Like I said, at least it'll be painted. It'll be off the, I mean, that's not bad. You could probably go through and just kind of do some black on there and it would look all right. Honestly. Just speckle in and sponge in some black. That would look like a lava scene. See how do we see that? Yeah. Interesting. Nuclear sunrise. Let's try a little bit of that. It's not going to be too big of a difference. We can just kind of just blot some colors in there and try to get rid of some of that white spacing in there. course, I'll have to wait for this to dry, and then we could put in the crackle on this. So I really want this to dry. Heck, I might even just varnish this whole thing and then do the base, because I think we're pretty much done with this guy for the most part. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a wash to get in some of the recesses where the hand is at. Excuse me, to try to bring out some of those details. But I think, honestly, I think we're almost to the place where we can call this done enough. So I'm not going to go, I won't film the varnish because that'll be airbrush and I don't have a camera over there. Maybe I'll film that on my phone, and then when we come back and revisit and do the crackle on this thing, we could give that a shot. So I think we're good. I think we're good. So we'll just go ahead and let this dry, and then I'll varnish this thing. And I'm wondering if I should do like a satin varnish to try to make it shiny, because he is kind of a shiny little dude there. So, no, I don't want to do that color. I need to go back with that red, not slaughter red, not carmine dragon. What is the poppy red for his mouth? I missed a little space. Yeah, I think that's good enough, and we'll just a tiny little bit there. And I think with a gloss finish, this will really make it pop as well. That'll add another dimension of light. Swedish Fort says, good job with the painting. Thank you. The first Tyranid. I'm very happy with it. I don't know if it's lower accurate for Warhammer, but it's looking good, I think. We want to get some details in there. Let's try doing a strong tone wash. That'll be the next thing for the hands. Try to bring out some of those details, and I think we should be done after that. I really want to accent those out. Again, my two favorite words: contrast, accent, highlight. I'll just go ahead and try to grim this guy out a little bit. Oh yeah, I think that'll work. I might even just go up and do the whole arm. I think that'll be good, because we can get some details in there. Yes, yes, yes. Yep. I think that was a good call. That way we can really kind of get into those recesses. We can darken that up a little bit, because he is a little bit of a dark character here. I like some of those areas there. I can just dab that in. Kind of darken them up just a little bit. Oh, I forgot that on. Oh yeah, that's gonna look good. Nice, nice. And we'll just throw in a little bit on his legs. Just kind of darken that up a little bit. Some of those areas, got a tad bit more. Yeah, I think that'll be nice. That'll kind of darken in some of those areas. Give it some more definition. Oh, we're going to need some on his face. We're going to do it. Let's just go ahead and do it. Yeah, but definitely needed. And the cool thing about the wash is that you can hide some mistakes with the wash, and we can actually get a little bit of definition with some wash on those teeth. Oh yeah, that'll look good. So we can see, wick some of that, and I think we'll be good. Oh yeah, yes, yes, yes. As far as the tail, I think we'll just kind of do the top. Just kind of get a little bit on there. Just a tiny bit. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to be good. I think we can call this guy good. Just have to let him dry. We'll do all that other stuff. Let this dry. We'll do a clear coat varnish on it, kind of a gloss varnish. I think that'll really make this pop. Seal in all the colors, and then we'll come back and we'll do the crackle. And hopefully that'll crackle up and we can have like a lava base. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that. Turned out good. Oh, nice. I'll have to clean that up. But I think we did good. I think we did good. So crackle, varnish, crackle, and we kind of get that out of the way. Try to conserve water. I don't know why, but we're going to try to conserve water. So let's see if we can get a closer look at this guy. And matter of fact, let me get a little light on the subject. See if I can end up turning this on. There we go. Nope. Let's see if this will help. So there it is. We got some oranges in there. We got some browns. We got some black, I think, and then the base. I think we are good to go. And then if we varnish this guy up with some high gloss varnish, I think this will really turn out nice. So yeah, good. Not bad at all. Ah, good. Let me plug this back in. I'll get a phone and I'll try to get some of this stuff. We'll go back to our chair. Let's see if we can zoom in there a little bit. Can we zoom in there? To our paint station. And how much can we zoom in? Boom! That's not too good, but it is what it is. Anyway, that was good. I think we did a lot, and especially being able to get this guy in the condition that we have him in. Yeah, that is good. So we got some colors, we got some orange, browns, bone, we got some washes on there, and those dry out, those will be really good. And when we end up on the underside, and then when we varnish him, then we'll do the crackle on the base, and hopefully we'll mix some black with the crackle, black crackle, and then, yeah. We'll see how that turns out, and then a final varnish on the base, and we should be good to go. So yeah, nice. I like it. That turned out really good. That was pretty good. Dun. Let's get to some of the comments here. Good job with the painting. Thank you. Brett asked the question and says, is it okay to paint PLA without an undercoat in acrylic paint? What I've found is that it's better to prime it and then paint it. We did a model, a PLA figure, where I didn't do any primer. And the colors didn't turn out as well as I wanted. Still pretty decent. Matter of fact, let me show you. We did a Warhammer figure. And at first look, you would be like, wow, that turned out pretty good, you know, for being, this was printed on the K2 Plus. We got some good details in there. And at first look, it's like, wow, that turned out great. Well, the problem is you can see some of the blotchiness on the leg here and on some of the other areas. And that's because there wasn't any primer. So it kind of, some places it bleeds in, some places it, I don't know. I would prime it. I mean, this one came out okay, and he's off the pile of shame, so, I'm not going to complain. He's been waiting for quite a while. But yeah, if you definitely want to get better coverage overall, then I would definitely prime it. And then black primer, and then do a white zenithal on it if you're doing speed paints. But I would definitely do a primer on that. But that turned out pretty good. He is off the pile of shame. So that's all that matters there. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Nice, nice. Yes, it turned so nice to get them off the pile of shame. Crackle should look good. I hope so on this guy. I really hope that it does. Worst case scenario, it doesn't. We'll just peel off the crackle off and we'll kind of do that again. But we could just go through with black and kind of just sponge that in there and have our own little lava base. So yeah, yep, consistency is, yeah, it was kind of blotchy, and I have noticed that on PLA, sometimes if you use like a Sharpie on PLA with like the white or lighter colored PLAs, and you put like a Sharpie or an acrylic paint on it, sometimes it'll bleed a little bit. It depends on the quality of the paint. So I think that's where your priming is going to come in handy so that you don't have that problem. What's next to me? I mean, this. This is going to be the axe. This is the Warhammer axe. This was off of Cults 3D, if I'm not mistaken, and it was Omniscient axe, and this is like 41 inches across. So we printed this out. We put it together the other day. I have a video on that, and we can see this is printed at a 0.16 millimeter, and as you can see the details on that. We also did variable layer height, and that came out fantastic. I mean, look at the detail on that. So there's not going to be a lot of post-processing. It is definitely, you got some seams on there, but overall, this came out great. So I'm really looking forward to painting this. Yeah, this is going to be good. So we're either going to do gold or silver. Of course, the skull is going to be bone colored, so we're going to do that. We'll have silvers, kind of like a lead belcher, citadel type color. Some dirty, I guess, broadsword metal type of color. We could do some bronze on the rivets and things like that. That will really kind of make this interesting. Of course, we'll do the teeth, and we'll do some washes on it. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. I really, really like this. This is cool. Who would have thought at 59 years old, almost 60 years old this year, I would be playing around with making cosplay stuff. And I thought about this. I was like, maybe I should make this bigger because, I mean, I got big hands. I'm 6'2" and 260 pounds. It's like 118 kilos. So I'm kind of a big guy. And I was thinking about making this bigger. Maybe go up another 10, 15% and make it big, but I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, that's the cool thing. That is gonna be fun. So, yes. Brett says, very cool. Yes, it is. That was a good one. I like that. Matter of fact, let me see, was that on Cults? Maker World. It was the Omniscient axe by RISERM. Maker World. And I'll show you that when this thing pops up. And there it is, the Omniscient axe. And it was free. So that's even better. Let's take a look at this. We'll kind of make this a little bit bigger and we can see what's going on. So yeah, this is going to look good. It's like 41 inches, 40 inches long. Nice. And it's free. Did I say it's free? It's free. So yeah, that is going to be a nice one. And somebody did make this. Excuse me. This guy here. Look at the details on that. That looks really killer. That looks really killer. So yeah, he did a real good job on that. I'm debating on whether to do black for the handle or do some like a dark brown, kind of simulate kind of like a leather, dark leather type of thing going. But yeah, the silver on there, that just looks good. On the rivets, I would have done like some brass, some dirtied brass, and maybe since I got some dirty down rust effect, we could put some rust on there as well. But yeah, that just looks so good, so good. And I would do the teeth a little bit lighter, a little bit different color, so that way you get a little bit of contrast on there. But yeah, let me pop this link in the comments. ACN X Riser M Maker World. So if you all want to get in on that action, you can. But yeah, that I saw that and I was like, ooh, that is going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. And it was. I wish I made it a little bit bigger, but I think I ended up doing it in a total of 3 plates on the Creality K2 Plus, which was 350 cubed. So that worked out good. Swedish says that he's a young 53. Cool. Brett says, I'm close to you. I'm 56, about 6'2", 230 pounds. Oh, okay. Nice, nice. We are the makers. Yes, 100%. Enjoying it, having fun doing it. I wish I would have done this stuff earlier. But unfortunately, I was doing adult things. You know, I joined the Army when I was 17, turned 18 in basic training, and then I pretty much did adult things. So, you know, did a career in the military, deployments, all of that cool stuff, but didn't, you know, drinking hard, work hard, play hard, drinking a lot, self-medicating a lot. Thank you, Uncle Sam, for the PTSD, the gift that keeps on giving. And then I retired, but I couldn't retire. So they ended up doing construction. I did rehabs and stuff like that. Of course, I didn't have time for that. And then firearms instructor, I worked in law enforcement, I worked in prisons, I did prison ministry for a while. I was also, like I said, a firearms instructor for concealed carry. I did some contract work for the military at Fort Carson. And yeah, eventually I did some upscale security, but I just really didn't get into the fun stuff, which I wish I knew earlier. You don't have to stop doing the fun stuff when you're an adult. No, you should, I encourage you to go after the fun stuff and have fun as you're doing adult stuff, because that's a way that you can maintain your sanity. It gives you an out from the craziness that is in the world today. And it's just, I think we need that today. I really do. So, yeah. If you're not doing it, if you're not printing it, painting it, playing it, finding something that you love to do it. Even if you're not good at it. If you're enjoying it, do it. Yeah. Let's see. Brett says that he was a bricklayer, 35 years, now semi-retired with a lawn business. Wow. Cool. See a picture of you in your car. That looks nice. Didn't have a choice at 17 or 18. My dad was a brickie. I kind of had a choice, but when I was growing up playing as a kid, that was one of the things that I wanted to be, was a soldier. So that was a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then there was a little bit more involved with that because I got in trouble with the law as a juvenile, and the judge ended up saying that he could make everything go away if I had a plan for my life that included either going to school or something productive. Well, I didn't want to go to school, so I joined the Army, signed the paperwork, went back to see the judge because I had various charges, showing him that I indeed did have a plan. I signed up delayed entry for the military, and my dad was there, my stepdad was there, and he verified that as well, and I had all the documents. And so the judge looked at it, and he's like, oh, okay, well, you're the Army's problem now, and if you get in trouble and you come back here, we'll throw you in the pokey. We'll throw you in jail. Of course he didn't. There was no way he could do that because juvenile records are sealed, and it wasn't serious enough to keep me out of the military. But I didn't know that, and so it's probably a good thing. The military is probably the best thing that happened for me. So I didn't really have a choice, but I did have a choice. But like I said, I kind of wanted to do that when I was a little kid, be a soldier. My real dad was in the Army in Vietnam. My stepdad was in the Army in Vietnam. My grandfather was in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And there's always been people in our family that were in the military. So I guess I just carried on that trait, and it worked out well for me. And lo and behold, my wife and I, we had offspring. We had a daughter, and she is in the military. But she is a doctor. So she's smart like my wife, but she's tall and kind of strong, good looking. Again, all the good stuff goes over to the wife. My traits that went over to her is stubbornness and tenacious, things like that. So that's what she got from me. But she's a doctor, and she's actually here in Korea, close to she's at the military base that we're close to. So we get to see her. She's going to do some years here, and then eventually she'll get out of the military, and she'll go be a civilian doctor somewhere with zero medical school debt because the Army paid for it. It's a bonus. It worked out good. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It turned out pretty good. So, and that's all we got. That's all we got going. Okay. So it's 6:22, and I'm getting a little hungry. So it's dinner time here. We had kind of an early lunch, and then I'm really getting hungry. But what we ended up doing is our little dude here, and we can see that, it turned out really well. And I think hopefully with that crackle base, after we varnish this guy up, I'll varnish him. I'll put some crackle on there, and then we'll do the final reveal of this guy in another video. Of course, it won't be a dedicated video, but whatever next video I do, this guy will be done. And it is going to be good. Good. I really like that. The Tyranid, my very first Tyranid. Okay. See you back at the Tyranid. Thanks for the stream. You're welcome. Thanks, Ace. Thanks for stopping by, Brett. I appreciate it. You're more than welcome to come back anytime. Purple Blue Piece, have a nice evening. You as well, sir. Swedish Forge. We got a few other people in the mix, hiding in the wings. If anybody wants to contact me, you can contact me. Hit my email up right there, officialthevariedlife@gmail.com. I answer all of my emails. Whether you say hi, show me stuff that you're doing, or whatever it is, I don't care. I always answer my emails. Give me about 1 or 2 days. These people over here bought me coffee. Don't buy me coffee. Just hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That would really help me out. That would be the best thing that you could do for me, and I would really appreciate that. Other than that, we're going to continue on, and like I said, we've got our little axe, Warhammer axe that we're going to do eventually, so we've got that. Also want to do some cosplay armor. That'll be interesting. I want to do a big cosplay here in Korea. Never too old to go do that and have fun. So we're going to try to do that as well sometime. A lot of other stuff, and hopefully in the next few weeks I'll have a better camera for the paint station, so it'll have a better autofocus and we can get some better shots of the stuff that we paint and enjoy the conversations that we have. So with that, thank you very much. Again, push that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell, and we will see you all on the next video. Peace. It was good. That was a good one. He turned out good. I like it. Thank you. Tyranid guy says, thank you very much for the like and the subscribe.